同学们，大家好，欢迎你回来练习副助动词。这是向老师。So welcome back to our session on modal verbs in Mandarin Chinese. This is Dr. Shuhua Shan. This is part of the materials for Center for Advanced Language Proficiency Education and Research, helping you to build advanced proficiencies through lots of authentic examples and explicit, accurate understanding of how grammar works. So now we continue on with our focus on modal verbs. Part 3, we're going to practice by longer stretches of discourse examples, meaning much longer people interacting with each other, examples from films, and so on. So it might be a bit tough, so please stay with me. This is an example from things about China, how it has changed. The modal verbs help to convey the idea of $10 of Chinese dollar, Chinese yuan. What can you buy with $10 before and now? 50年前, so I'm going to read it with some of the modal verbs blanked and think about how you would complete the sentence with the right modal verb. 50年前, 50 years ago, 10元钱, $10, Chinese dollars, 在中国 in China, 买什么? So what can you buy with $10 50 years ago? 让我们一起来看看. So let's take a look. 50年前, 50 years ago, 10块钱, you can buy vegetables, 500 斤, pounds. 现在 now, $10, 最多 at most, 只 you can only buy 只 something something, 买到青菜4斤, 4 pounds. 青菜 leafy green vegetables. 50年前, 10元钱, 在中国 something something, 买什么? So what can you buy? 让我们一起来看看. 50年前, 10块钱 something something, 买到青菜500斤. 50 years ago, $10, you can get 500 pounds of vegetables. 现在 now, 10块钱最多只 something something, 买到青菜4斤. Now $10 at the most, you get about 4 pounds of leafy vegetables. So we're talking about a can. What modal verb would you use? Secondly, 50 years ago, 50年前, 10块钱 something something, 买到100碗牛肉面. So you can buy 100 bowls of beef noodles with $10. 现在只 only something something, 买1到 this dash means 到 1 to 2, 1到2碗, 1到2碗. So now you can only buy 1 or 2 bowls of beef noodle. So this scenario calls for the modal verb that conveys the idea of can. So here is the key. 50 years, 50年前, 10元钱在中国能买什么? So what's the buying capacity of $10? 能. 让我们一起来看看. 50年前, 10块钱能, 我可以买到青菜500斤. 现在10块钱最多只能买到青菜4斤. 50年前, 10块钱能, 我可以买到100碗牛肉面. 现在只能买1到2碗. So idea of 能, the capacity of the dollar. 可以, if you wish to buy, you will be able to. It's possible to get 500 pounds of this. But now, you would only be able to do this. So when you have 只 as the adverb emphasis the only, we wouldn't use 可以 anymore. We use 能 to emphasize this is the amount of ability, the amount of capacity $10 has now. So it has very little to do with you wishing to do it. It's about capacity. Therefore, we don't use 可以 in a second case. But of course, all these differences are very nuanced. They are not grammatically absolutely incorrect. It's just how accurate your idea comes across. Okay, so That's how China has changed. The price has hiked quite a bit. This is a made-up example. I put together these different sentences on the scenario of swimming just to show you that the meaning is contrast. So what would you fill in these blanks with? If I say, I know how to swim, 我会游泳. I can swim 50 rounds continuously. 我 So here we don't use 会 anymore, we use 能 because it's about performance on a special occasion. 我能连续游50个来回 back and forth. 最近很忙 recently I've been very busy. 没有时间游泳 no time to swim. 长胖了很多 I grew really much heavier. 锻炼身体了 I have to exercise now. I can use 得 if I'm saying have to. I can use 要 if I'm saying I need to. So the doctor says, 医生也说我要多运动 You need to exercise more. Or 得运动 have to. Or 应该运动应该 should do that. Something 跑步散步游泳 So there's options. You can run, you can walk, you can swim. So if we're talking about options, you might use the modal verb 可以 to suggest as long as you wish, all these are possible. 可以跑步散步也可以游泳不管多忙不管 something 都 We have a pattern of no matter what, you'll need to. So what's the modal verb here? 不管多忙 no matter how busy, 都要坚持游泳坚持运动 You all the time you need to exercise. You can't be on the lazy side. 偷懒means to be on the lazy side. To, I don't want to swim today. I'm so tired. So don't do that. Don't cut any slacks. 不能我周末去游泳 So I'm gonna go swimming this weekend. 游完泳 When I finish swimming, 我 something 和父母出去吃饭 I'm gonna take my parents out for dinner or breakfast. 我们每个周末 Every weekend 都一起吃早茶 So every weekend in the morning we go have dim sum 早茶 dim sum morning tea or dim sum. So a scenario for all these different modal verbs to be used naturally. I'll read it and you can read along with me. 我会游泳我能连续游50个来回最近很忙没有时间游泳长胖了很多得锻炼身体了医生也说我要多运动可以跑步散步也可以游泳不管多忙都应该坚持运动我都要坚持运动不能偷懒我周末去游泳游完泳我会和父母出去吃饭 habitual behavior 我们每个周末都一起吃早茶 So I hope that this range of sentences make it clear that although a lot of these are optionally interchangeable, you can use one instead of the other. It's not absolutely correct or incorrect, but they do convey different senses. They give you different scenarios, like how you think it's optional or obligatory or doable if you so desire, or you must, or you have to, it's morally obligated, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be the next practice is based on a clip from the very funny situational comedy, I Apartment. So these guys are in the field with the female residents in that apartment, and they wanted to kind of get their rights back, but they didn't realize that their female roommate is actually much more scheming and smarter than them, so they are admitting failure. And then they start with 太可怕了 so scary 不行 this won't do 我们根本斗不过她。We really are not her equal. We cannot win her. 斗不过，斗 means to fight. 不过 not passing. So we are not able to win over her. 这样的话 if it goes like this, 这样的话，我们只有一条路 something something 走了。So we only got one road to travel. And then the girl holds a peace treaty already prepared in her hand, and she says, 记住 remember. 得罪女人，得罪 means to be on the wrong side of women, to make mistakes with women. So forever, don't do that. So she's saying, don't do that. Remember, never do that, because you will know what you get into. So let's hear this, and then see if you can catch the modal verbs.
太可怕！不行，我们根本斗不过他。这样的话，就只有一条路可以走了。
记住，不要得罪女人，永远不要。
So the answer is here. 太可怕了，不行，我们根本斗不过他。这样的话，我们只有一条路可以走了。可以 helps to convey the idea that all the other roads are gone. There's only one road possible, the idea possible for us to walk on, to take. And the girl says, 不要 don't do that. Absolutely don't do that. 记住，不要得罪女人，永远不要。So next practice comes from the very cute film Hear Me, 听说. And you know this is a film, much part of it is using sign language, but the caption gives you reading practice, and also you can practice reading along aloud. Then we'll focus on the modal verbs. 便当我算80元，会不会太便宜? So we practiced this one before. This bento box I calculated as $80. Would it be too cheap? Is that too cheap? 会不会? So he says, 你家都没有什么隔间. So your house doesn't have a lot of dividers. It's one huge kind of loft style, one huge open space. 感觉 here, 感觉 it feels 蛮 relatively pretty 宽敞的 spacious. So it feels pretty spacious. 感觉蛮宽敞的. So this one might be harder for you to understand because it uses special vocabulary. 聋人, so deaf person. This is a polite expression to refer to people who are deaf. 聋人要靠, so they need the modal verb 要 need to 靠 rely on. 聋人要靠视觉, formal vocabulary for vision. 视觉。视 eye, view, 觉 sense. So vision, like to use to 辅助 to support, to compensate for 听觉的不足听觉 hearing 的不足 so the limits of their hearing. So the deaf will need to rely on vision like to compensate for the limitations of their hearing. 如果看不见就会不安 So if they cannot see, they will get uneasy. 会 as a modal verb here before 不安 uneasy gives you the idea that it's a natural tendency because they're deaf. If they also cannot see, then they will get very uneasy. Therefore, 所以我爸爸 my father 坚持 a verb insist on 我和小鹏 I and my sister 小鹏 is her sister 我和小鹏要 we need to 住在 to live in 开放式的空间里 This is also special vocabulary for interior design 开放式的 open style 空间 space 里 inside So my father insisted that I and Xiaopeng need to live in this open space. 所以我爸爸坚持我和小鹏要住在开放式的房间里。So the modal verb here, 要 makes it clear that the father thinks that's needed, that's necessity for them to live in an open space. So let's watch this one more time. 便当我算80元，会不会太便宜？你家都没什么隔间，感觉蛮宽敞的。聋人要靠视觉来辅助听觉的不足，如果看不见就会不安。所以我爸爸坚持我和小鹏要住在开放式的空间里，这样就可以一览无余。So the last sentence goes 这样 so like this open space 就可以 as a modal verb. So now it's gonna be facilitated. Now it's gonna be possible. 一览无余 is an idiom to refer to no view ever blocked. Okay, so let's read this part. 你家都没有什么隔间 There's no dividers in your house. 感觉蛮宽敞的 It feels spacious. 聋人要靠视觉来补充听觉的不足 The deaf need to use vision to compensate for the limitations of hearing. 如果看不见 if they cannot see 就会不安 they would get uneasy 所以我爸爸坚持 therefore my father insisted that 要我和小明 it's needed that me and 小明住在开放式的空间里 to live in an open space 这样就可以 it's gonna be possible一览无余 to have no blocked view. 聋人要靠视觉来补充听觉的不足，如果看不见就会不安，所以我爸爸坚持要我和小明住在开放式的空间里，这样就可以一览无余。So you can see the modal verb 要gives the sense of something is necessary, something is needed, no ambivalence there, it just has to be done. 会 gives the idea of natural tendency. 可以 gives the idea of if so desired, it's doable, it's now facilitated, it's possible. The next has to do with a film clip of Lost on Journey, a very funny TV film. This is the beginning of the film where the farmer and the businessman are sitting next to each other. And then the farmer sees the businessman on his cell phone. So the farmer gets a little bit nervous, telling the businessman that you gotta shut down your cell phone. It's gonna interfere with the satellite, the plane signal. So this is the transcript. See if you can read them and then fill in the blanks. 飞机 something something 起飞了哦 It's gonna start taking off now. 你这手机信号 would interfere with the signals. 你这手机信号 something something 干扰无线电波 wireless waves electric waves 要是 if 飞机万一掉下来怎么办 the plane fell from the sky what would that do then the businessman gets impatient he says 我知道 I know you don't need to teach me so what modal verb would you use here you don't need to teach me 那你关啊The farmer gets insistent. Then you turn it off. And then the businessman ignores him, and the farmer continues to ring the light for the flight attendant to come, and then tells her that 你看他的手机还没关呢 See, he still has his cell phone open. So we'll come back to this reading. Let's watch the film clip first.
飞机要起飞了。你这手机信号会干扰无线电波的，你这飞机万一掉下来怎么办？关机吧。
我知道，不用你教我。
那你关。
先生有什么需要吗？
哎，你看，他这手机还没关。
哎，你干什么你？
不是你手机没关呢，你这很危险的。
先生，请关闭你的移动电话和电子设备。
我知道，马上。
对不起，先生，请关闭你的手机。
人家不吃这一套，手机不关多危险，这么多人生命，你关了吧，要不。
谢谢您的配合。
没事，我第一次坐飞机也是这样。
我经常坐飞机。
哎，大哥，你搞什么的？我是做铜肉饼的，我的微博名叫宝鸡饼铺。你有微博吗？咱们互问一下呗。
我的手机已经关掉了。
啊，那没事，那下。
Okay, so I just realized this is the sequel of Lost on Journey is not the first film where one of them is a farmer. So this is not a farmer, but a small restaurant who makes pancakes. Anyway, so the idea goes the same. 飞机要起飞了. So the plane is about to take off. 要 helps convey the idea of about to. It's scheduled to do it. There's no ambivalence about it. It's just gonna happen. 你这手机信号 your signal of the cell phone 会 it will. It's gonna this is a tendency. It 干扰 it's gonna interfere with the waves of the control tower. 无线电波。要是飞机万一掉下来怎么办 So what if the plane drops from the sky because of your cell phone signal? Then the businessman gets impatient. 我知道，不用你教我。This is kind of direct, blunt. You don't need to teach me. I don't need that. 不用 don't do that. 那你关啊 Then you close it. You shut it off. And to flight attendant, 你看 take a look. 他的手机还没关呢。He hasn't turned his cell phone off. And then he tries to reach for the cell phone. And then businessman says, 哎，你干什么你 Hey, what are you doing? And the pancake maker says, 你手机没关呢 Your cell phone is not shut off. 你这样很危险的 The way you are doing, it's very dangerous. And flight attendant gets very official and it says, 先生 Mr. 请关闭你的移动电话和电子设备 This is a formal register, polite expression. Please shut off your mobile phone and electronic devices. 请关闭你的移动电话和电子设备 Businessman says, 我知道，马上。He's trying to buy some time. He doesn't want to comply right away because, he has his own dignity. 我知道，马上。Then flight attendant insists, 对不起，先生。请关闭您的手机 Sorry, sir. Please close off your cell phone. So you can use her language to see what is a formal register, polite for official language, compared to the pancake maker that's very informal and colloquial. And then the pancake maker says, 哈哈， 人家 so she 人家 is an expression we use to refer to a third party when you don't want to be specific. So 人家 see they 不吃这一套 they don't eat of your style. This is also very colloquial. 不吃这一套 means they don't buy it. They don't do as you wish. 不吃这一套. And then he sort of turns back and tell other passengers, 手机不关多危险啊. So if you don't turn off your cell phone, it's so dangerous. 这么多人生命, so many people's lives. And then he goes back to the businessman, 你关了吧要不? Like a gentle suggestion, how about you just turn it off, okay? So I hope this scene helps you to see, some of the useful vocabularies if you ever are on the plane in China. Okay, so that ends our practice with this course. I hope you find these examples useful.